It is fundamentally wrong in principle. This is a decision for parents and at a practical level. And again, even the ABC has been covering things like marginalised young people in difficult family circumstances. All they have is social media, and you have a half-baked policy that is going to be a disaster, and that just frames so much of what this government's doing.
But what about the argument that so parents can only control a locus of what their children do or see? So as they get older, parents have less influence over their children. So you might at home say, you know, you can't use social media. I don't want you to have a social media account. But then what happens when they're with their friends and you don't have control over that?
And the government shouldn't have control either.
But the argument is that there's... I'm not as opposed to this as you are, because I think there is an argument. Well, I have two things here. The main reason I don't support it is because we know a part of the reason for it is to deprive younger people of access to information that's counter to the narrative. That's the reason I don't like it, because there's a lot of 14 and 15-year-olds who avail themselves of a variety of content, a lot of which I don't agree with, but a lot of which I do agree with. And rather than them being dependent on a failing school system on the mainstream media, they can at least have the opportunity to find other things. So if you're someone who's sitting there in class and you're like, I don't agree with what the teacher's saying, you know, at least you can go find something different. So that's why
I can go and watch Charlie Kirk videos.
They can, as an example. So that's the main reason I don't like it. But I'm not completely opposed to the idea in the sense of parents can only control so much. But the thing that it's never been explained to me by MPs is, if your concern is information that children are accessing, and you believe that's causing harm,
and bullying is the other.
And fair enough.
Yeah,
right?
Is the other.
But there's far worse things on the internet than social media. And my point is that it's those other things that are more harmful, like the violent and obscene content, that as a parent you can't stop your children accessing, and that they're not able to contextualize appropriately. That's a far bigger problem.
You mean 3-year-olds being asked what gender they are?
Well, that's a part of it, but there's other things on the internet that are far worse. So why is it that the focus has only been on social media rather than other things that are far worse?
Yeah, because the mainstream legacy media sees social media as a threat, and the mainstream legacy media has in fact congratulated itself for being the apparatus that has pushed this ban.